Participants are joining. You have some slides to
No,
share, sir? No. Okay.
no, no.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, one and all. We will start our post-lunch session. I request Dr. Rafida, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Applications, to kindly introduce our speaker, Dr. N. Ajith Kumar.
Good afternoon, all. A brief profile of Dr. N. Ajith Kumar. Dr. N. Ajith Kumar completed his college education from Maharaja's College, Ernakulam, between 1973-80 and PhD from CUSAT in 1985 from the Department of Applied Economics. He has 28 years of collegiate service in Cochin College as principal and HOD of Economics. He has been a research guide in 3 universities since 1995 and has produced 29 PhDs to date. Apart from this academic and research excellence, he is very active in extracurricular activities. He was the secretary of the Kerala Cricket Association and the District Sport Council between 1997 to 2000. He is very active in the field of voluntary blood donation and to date has donated blood 85 times. He is well known for his motivational talks, which empowers the audience to build confidence in life. With this brief introduction, I introduce you, sir, for the session on behalf of Department of Computer Application. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. People are just entering. Shall I start? Dr. Vinod?
Yes, sir, you can start.
Well, good afternoon, one and all. It's been a real pleasure to be with the university, CUSAT, which is my alma mater. I had the privilege of working or doing my doctorate here way back in 1982-85. And it's wonderful to be associated with another of the departments. Well, these days of COVID-19, we all have developed a sort of helplessness. Most of us have become rather, I should say, weary of our future. What is in store for us? I have been addressing a large number of such persons, trying to make use of my own simple expertise to build up the morale of individuals and identifying how people would be able to overcome this particular period, which seems to be endless. That is the one which is affecting everybody, whether it is a 5-year-old or a 65-year-old like me. The feeling is, when is this going to end? Would we be able to go back to our lives of pre-COVID, that is prior to March 2020? Will it be possible? Will we have to live with it? And to make matters worse, a large number of pessimists among us have a tendency to undertake very elaborate works and make us feel that this is going to continue for a very long time. The other day I read an article which said that COVID may continue till 2024. Another person said, we may have to live with it this century. When you see such things naturally, you feel that what they are saying is true. But my experience, and from what I am going to tell you, let us not be perturbed by such negativity. COVID-19 has many positive implications also. I will just first of all relate what most of us are now feeling. The first thing we call it filtering. This is how what is happening now is we have in front of us lot of negative thoughts, negative aspects, and positive aspects. What we are doing is, because of the impact of COVID, we are magnifying the negative aspects and filtering out the positive ones. To give you a simple example, the very case of our system of vaccination. The vaccination started in the month of January. It is going on apace. But even now, many are not convinced that the vaccination would be an effective protection against this COVID. This is the feeling. And I'll give you just one or two personal instances. After I had taken my first Covishield vaccine in March, because 60-year-olds and above were administered the vaccination in the month of March, I met one of my students who was in his late 40s. And I told him, from the next month, April, you people are going to be given the opportunity. Ensure that you take the vaccine. He immediately said, sir, there is no point in taking the vaccine. Those who have taken the vaccine have been affected by COVID-19. I told him, no, people have been affected. But don't think that that is a benchmark for not taking. So we made a good study and found that out of 2,000 persons who were administered the vaccine, only one person was affected by this COVID again. So what are we doing? We are thinking about that one person and forgetting that 1,999 people have not been affected. This is filtering. This is what I call filtering. 1,999 out of 2,000 have not been affected by COVID, who have taken the vaccine. One person has got it. Unfortunately, we have a press which has a tendency to highlight negativity. They will go to any extent to highlight negativity. And this is exactly what's happening. And we are listening to hearing what this particular person got COVID again. What happened after that? Whether he was badly affected, or did he suffer the same as any other COVID patient? We don't find out that. Those things we are not bothered. We only get the news that particular person has been affected. This is one problem. We forget that 1,999 out of 2,000 have not been affected. This is something which we forget. We only think of that one person. So my very dear friends, filtering is something which all of us are engaging in. And my request to all of you is filter the negativity and retain the positivity. Remember that 1,999 out of 2,000 have not got COVID after taking vaccination. Only 1 out of 2,000. I think that should give us sufficient strength and courage to face this pandemic. Second is personalizing. Personalizing is a major issue. When something bad occurs to somebody, you feel you are going to be the next victim. You are going to be next in line. It so happened, whenever, unfortunately, people who are close to us have been affected, then immediately the feeling is, will I be the next? This is personalizing negativity. This is the second problem which COVID has created in the minds of everybody. A neighbor might have got COVID. You immediately feel you're also going to get it. That is the negativity aspect. But please remember, we have enough ways and means to prevent it. At that particular point, instead of trying to personalize it, if we take steps to ensure that we don't get it, instead of going on brooding over the fact that our neighbor has got it, we'll be in a much better position. So this personalizing is another problem which has definitely affected all of us during this particular pandemic period. Third point I always say is catastrophizing. This is the next stage of personalizing. That is the problem. What happens is you automatically anticipate the worst. 2 of my cousins passed away due to the pandemic. We are extremely sorry about it. But what can be done? You have to admit it. You have to accept the fact. Nothing can be done. An important point helped me to overcome that sorrow. A friend of mine once had said, every person is born into this world with his day of death written on his forehead. Only thing is, we don't see it. And when that day occurs, it is automatically curtains for us. This is what something, if we accept that fact, things are very easy to comprehend. Yes, the fear of death is there for everybody. But if you go on thinking, I will die, I will die, I will die, the only thing you're going to do is you're going to become miserable. That's all. Nothing else. This is not what we've been born for. We've been born with a purpose. Otherwise, we won't be living here now. Is it not? So never catastrophize. Catastrophe, avoid catastrophe. Yes, catastrophe is something which affects all of us. And at this time particularly, I'm sure each one of you would have lost some close relative or some close friend to this pandemic. But that doesn't mean you have to catastrophize the whole thing and say, this is going to create it's going to be the end of my life. We have to move on. Things have to move on. I'm reminded of the days when people used to say, after Nehru, who? Because in my very young days, I remember hearing that. After Nehru, who? As if with the death of Jawaharlal Nehru, India will go to pieces. India never went to pieces. India is going from strength to strength. We are going from strength to strength. No person is invincible or inevitable in this world, least of all ourselves. So it's because we feel that we are very important in this world that we're feeling that if that person dies, I also die. What will happen? That feeling of self-importance, if that goes into the background and you realize that you are a highly dispensable human being, catastrophizing will never take place. That realization people don't have. So that you are a dispensable human being, if you have that feeling, things become so easy. It's something which helps me a lot. I'm dispensable. As if the world will come to an end if I'm not there. That feeling, if you lose, things become so easy. You will never catastrophize. And polarizing is the last aspect which has definitely come about after the pandemic. Polarizing. You see only either good or bad. There is no middle path. That's where my talk here, I hope, would be useful to you. There is no middle path. Either it is good or bad. There is no middle ground. There has to be a middle path. That is it. So it is negative thinking which is dominating our lives in the present. Filtering, personalizing, catastrophizing, and polarizing. 4 aspects which have affected all of us And we have to come out of it, for which we have to take, in my opinion, two approaches. One is a micro approach, which concerns each one of us. And the second is a macro approach, which concerns the society and the country as a whole. Both these have a lot of implications in our battle against this particular pandemic. And that is possible only if we have a clear-cut mind that we are going to face the situation in the way it should, taking full care of ourselves, at the same time not worrying about what is happening around. This is a very important point. What we are doing is, most of us are getting unnecessarily stressed for something which is not a big thing. If this stress is worth it, or I should say, we normally say, when some people say, a student comes and tells me, sir, I'm feeling very stressful. I have a lot of stress. Then I tell him, why do you have stress? You have stress because you want to do something well. That is stress. If you want to do something well and you're concerned about it, you're stressed. Here it's not a question of such a, it is not such a stress that is happening. Here what's happening is, we are looking around, finding things in a very awkward position and getting unnecessarily worried. Yes, I have one or two case studies would be very interesting to relate in this context. My dear friends, a friend of mine who knows I do a bit of counseling, I do a bit of such positive thinking, called me and told me, I am very sorry, I want you to give me some support. Yes, what's the problem? My son is misbehaving. I said, what happened? He does just, we are forced to remain in our houses. And he just wants to go out. It's not possible now. Primary was during the first pandemic of, the pandemic hit for the first time. For 45 days, all of us were locked in. That was the time. I told him, yes, we are all locked in. He's finding it very difficult, and you must somehow give me some support, help me out in this particular case. So I just asked him, is he stressed or are you stressed? Now, you feel that the best way by which you can enjoy yourself with something is to go out. You have created such a mindset in your son. So he thinks if you're not able to go out of the house, there's something wrong with you. Now, little kids don't understand that there is lockdown. Prime Minister said, don't go out, remain where you are, to use the PM's words on the 24th of March, 2020. Remain where you are. These things are something which the little children cannot understand. But you as adults can. So what do? You know fully well, whether you like it or not, it's not possible to go out. You will not be allowed. If you go out, you will go in. The police will catch you in. So what do? You convert your house into a playground. I just gave him the suggestion. Play with him. You do the playing. After some time, the little one will forget going out. Try this out. Oh, I've got my work. Yes, I know. You've got a lot of work. You've got a lot of work. All of us have work. We are all doing a lot of work at home. Because, work from home had started. But work from home is not 24 hours. He said, no. Work from home is adjustable. He said, yes. Adjust it in such a way that plan your day, in a proper way, take time off and play with him. After a certain stage, he will not feel like going out. What happened is, after a stage when the pandemic, the unlocking started, when people could go out a bit, this little one didn't feel like going out at all. He was so used to the house atmosphere, he started being very happy. He found a lot of attention being given to him by his parents, because the parents thought the best way in which child could be entertained was by going out. But evidently they did not care for him when he was in the house. And they could not. I will not say they did not. So when this attitude changed, the child became normal. 10 days later, my friend called me and told me, "Thank you very much. I'm so grateful to you. Things have changed completely. We have made our home our playground. When this was done, things changed. Now the boy doesn't want to go out. He doesn't look stressed at all. Playing with him, our stress also has come down. We have also accepted the fact that there has to be a change in our lifestyle. Unless we change our lifestyle, it is not possible for us to get the positives out of this COVID-19 situation. It has so many positive implications. My very dear friends, thanks to COVID, has not so many of our outdated, unthinkable facts which used to outrage us through negativity, have they not all disappeared? I'm just so happy in that respect. There used to be a cousin of my auntie of mine who would call me and say, do this yagna, do this other yagna, that yagna, this yagna. I just turned down and told her, for 40 days, our entire mart was closed. What happened? Did anything happen? There was no proper prayers taking place in the temples, no namas taking place in the mosques, no proper prayers taking place in the churches. Did anything happen? Nothing happened. Did the churches or the temples or the mosques come down in one thud because there were no prayers? Nothing happened. A real eye-opener. Because had it not been for COVID, we would still have been totally clouded with these unscientific ways of religion, these religious ceremonies, the religious beliefs. All these are gone. We now realize those 2 months, none of us went through all those religious beliefs, etc. Nothing happened to us. Nothing happened to us. So all these are the creation of human beings, was realized by all. This realization has fallen on us. Our faith in God has not come down. God never asked us to do this, do that. It was man who created all these new ceremonies and these rituals to please the gods. What has happened? Those rituals, those ceremonies, faith in it was gone. Such a large number of people have now realized that these rituals, these ceremonies, etc., were just the creations of human beings. Don't you think it's one of the most positive implications of COVID-19? COVID-19 has opened our eyes to that all these, the crores of rupees that used to be spent on these rituals, unnecessary they were. We did not do it. Did anything happen to us? Nothing happened to us. So this is a very important positive implication, because people have now realized the necessity is to lead a proper life rather than be crowded with such negativity. Yes. So this has helped a lot. The COVID-19 has really helped us to open our eyes, no doubt about it. And it has definitely generated a lot of positive thinking. I must say that. Positive thinking, because people have suddenly realized that it is better to think positively rather than go on thinking about the worst things. People have started becoming more engaged. People have started, only thing is your way of life has changed. From the classroom, we have now online. The entire thing, as rightly put by many of my friends, we used to be from offline to online. Things like online and offline have started. And most important, work has shifted from the office to the home. The home has become the office. Accepting those things initially was difficult, but I am very confident that most of you, my dear colleagues who are teaching, have slowly started really enjoying teaching from home. Because the best part of it is, the moment our session is over, you feel you are in the comforts of your home. Initially, I'm, in my mid-60s, a man who is to put in very simple terms, still in the in the stone age of technology, slowly developed this technology. My friends, my children helped me to develop this technology, come into this picture. Initially, I used to feel extremely bad. 40 years I have taught offline. A person who has taught 40 years offline is forced to teach online. You can very well imagine how difficult it was for a shift. Now, 1 year down the line, the first question which I asked Dr. Judy, when she told me, sir, would you take this particular session? My first question to her was, I hope it is online. If it is online, I am willing. If it is not online, I am not willing. This is the change. Sitting in the comforts of my house, I am able to talk to such a large number of persons. You all are able to understand me and hear me. The same only thing is true. You can't. Sitting in that atmosphere is different, but we are not getting used to it. We better get used to it. A system where we are changing from offline to online, as it is from workplace to home. Home has become a workplace. All these things are definitely positives. If you work from home, I have started feeling is better than, in many senses, because a retired person like me would feel it better. But even youngsters, they feel that more creativity is possible. There is greater application of things. You are in a better position to introduce better things. Of course, we miss our labs. For you, as far as the people like you are concerned, the labs are important. But then the laptop becomes your lab. That's what I was telling a particular person. Why don't you convert your laptop into your lab? That will be different. Yes, accepting it initially was difficult, but soon and soon, the very fact that despite this particular pandemic, the Indian economy has started looking up. I am an economics person, but I'm sure these figures would interest you. After all, only if the economy grows, we have any chance. If we have to grow, if we have to get sufficient money for our work, our country has to prosper. Our economy has to grow. In the first quarter, we call it from April to June in 2020, our growth rate or the increase in our resources came down by 24%. In the second quarter, it came down by 7.5%. We thought in 2 continuous quarters, that is July, August, September, it came down by 7.5%. We all thought that is the end of this world. No. The resilience started in October. October, November, December, we grew by 0.5%. And January, February, March, the growth rate is 1.6%. Things have started looking up. The country has started looking up. As we normally say, there's something which a bit of, not that I'm speaking too much of economics to you, but one thing is certain, that certain figures which I thought would interest you, I've just brought with me. The global economy itself has come down. And the countries which have been affected most are the emerging market and developing economies. This is something which you must all know, very interesting, because you people have a very important role in making India an emerging economy. India, my dear friends, is an emerging economy. It's an emerging market and developing economy. We call ourselves as EMDEs. EMDE, emerging market and developing economy. That's what India is. It is these economies which were affected the most by this pandemic. Especially in the early part of the last financial year, that is between, say, April to September, EMDs all over the world suffered a severe setback. Now we have mainly 5 EMDs: India, China, Russia, Brazil, and South Africa. Of which China was a glorious exception, for reasons we all know. The remaining 4 countries, Russia, India, Brazil, and South Africa, did face severe problems, severe issues. Those 6 months, we were in great peril. But the next 6 months, a revival started. And the revival is so fast. I wonder many of you must have noticed why the revival is so fast. Because, my very dear friends, the infrastructure and facilities which India has is world class. Why did we not make use of it during the earlier part of the pandemic? Because we were unable to use it. But the moment we were given, or people, the unlocking started, things started improving. Things are looking up. I can tell you without any hesitation. Yes, we may not reach pre-COVID situations immediately. But please be very clear, we are not that far away also. One interesting figure which I give you will definitely improve your morale. I always say that. These figures which help us a lot. The world economy was expected to reach $100 trillion by 2021. $100 trillion. That was the expected world GDP by 2021. Actually, it reached only 91.98. It reached only 91.98. This is another interesting figure. In other words, it fell short by 3.5% from the expected growth rate. But then let us look at the situations that have taken place. India is 7th in the world. I don't think in a world where 193 countries, 193 countries are considered for all indices created, 193 countries. India is having the 7th place. Definitely not a bad rank after the trauma that we faced over 1 year. Definitely not. Of course, our potential, or we could not reach our potential, which we hoped. Reaching what is called a $5 trillion economy was something which was predicted in 2008 itself. In 2008, India reached $1 trillion. It took us 60 years to become a $1 trillion economy. In 2015, we reached $2 trillion. The projection was by 2020, we'll reach 3 trillion. By 2023, we will reach 4 trillion. And by 2025, India would become a $5 trillion economy. This was the projection made in 2008. 2008 itself, the projection was made. Because that was the way in which our growth was taking place. As expected, in 2015, we touched 2 trillion. We hope to touch 3 trillion in 2020 when the pandemic struck. But 2019-20 also was rather a weak year. for reasons which nobody is to be blamed. So we could not touch 3 trillion in 2020. But my very dear friends, we are now at $2.72 trillion, 7th in the world. It is a real positive implication. Don't you think it's very positive? And we're expecting a growth rate of 8.3% during 21-22. Only 8.3%, not 10.5, 11.5, as was projected at the time of the budget. So the country is looking up. We are not looking back, we are looking up. Let us be very confident, our nation is looking up. We are not concerned about anything else. Please don't misunderstand me that I am speaking on behalf of the government. No, I am no admirer of the present Prime Minister. I am not his admirer. I want to make it very clear. But my country is very important for me. The country has to do well. ABC, today this is the man, next day, tomorrow. After all, I've already seen 14 Prime Ministers in my life. This man is the 14th Prime Minister. I've seen 14 Prime Ministers in my life. So I know Prime Ministers will come and Prime Ministers will go. So it is nothing, no indication of the present incumbent. We are talking of the country. The nation is looking up. India is looking up, for which you and I are equally responsible. We are equally responsible for this. So this is the condition that is prevailing. So there need not be any sort of negativity. We are looking up. Yes, we are going through a crisis, but the crisis will never be unending. There will always be, as we put in a very interesting way, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And the light is already visible. Yes, we are talking of the third wave. I wanted to tell you, my very dear friends, let's not be concerned about it. Let's proceed with our work. Let us, if the third wave comes, we will see. Many were saying me, oh, third wave is going to come, let it come. Because the thing is, the second wave was something we never expected. We never knew the second wave would be so intense. So already people are losing their sleep thinking of the third wave. Let it come, then we will see. It's no point in just thinking of something which is in the distant future. I believe in this particular thing. Sorry, the main point I would like to say is this. Yesterday is dead and gone. Yesterday is dead and gone. Tomorrow is uncertain. Let us enjoy the present. If all of us have that mood, it becomes so easy. Let us live for the present. Let us live for today. Let us be happy with what we have now. And then we will think of tomorrow. That's what I tell my friends who feel very, very unhappy. Third wave is still. One friend of mine called me and said, you give me some positive thinking. I'm very unhappy. The third wave is coming. I said, let it come. Is it going to affect you? I asked him. Then he turned around and said, no. Then why are you worried? No, it may be affecting my children. We will see at that time. It is just, let us not unnecessarily think of something which has not happened. It has not happened. It is going to happen. Let us see. If it happens, we will see. So my very dear friends, let us just forget about the third wave. At the same time, I would advise all of you, you should, without any hesitation, get yourself vaccinated. Vaccination is definitely excellent. As I told you, 1,999 out of 2,000 people have not been affected by COVID again. That's my message. My own sister-in-law, my wife's sister, she and her husband they had their COVID vaccine. Just about 10 days later, their son and daughter-in-law who live with them, they developed symptoms. My sister-in-law herself took them to the hospital to see what's wrong with them. She was with them all the time, then brought them back. It was identified that they were having COVID. Well, immediately the authorities said, you two we have to conduct an RT-PCR on you also. So both my sister-in-law and her husband underwent it. Both were negative. My nephew and his wife were positive. Today, this happened in April. Now it is July. 3 months down the line, nothing has happened. He has recovered. The boy has recovered. So also his wife. They are all fine now. See this. So many positives. A dear colleague of mine, she and husband stay with their daughter and son-in-law. One fine morning, again, the daughter suddenly said, I've lost my smell. So they went and checked. The authorities said, we'll have to check all 4 of you. So all 4 were checked. My colleague and her husband, negative, because they had taken the vaccine. The little ones, they were both are, the husband and the daughter and the son-in-law, they are in their 20s. They had not yet taken their first dose. Both of them positive. No problem. They got themselves quarantined in 1 week. They are fine. All fine. 2 very good cases. Real life incidents, I'm telling you. Absolutely no problem. Let us enjoy life. And when you take the vaccine, you get some confidence in yourselves. I want to tell you that. Because you have some confidence. You're sure. It's something like a person who gets chickenpox is sure that he will not get chickenpox again. I'm one who got chickenpox in my life. And after that, I used to visit every chickenpox patient of mine, of friends of mine. Because, everybody says, no chickenpox, oh, very, very contagious. I would go and speak to them, sit with them, speak to them for hours together. I was confident I would never get it, never got it again. Yes, that is the necessity. Let us be positive in our approach. Let us forget the negativity. One negative, that's it. When you do the filtering, that's my always saying, when you filter the negative thoughts and think only about the positive things. Yes, when deaths and other things occur to our family and friends and our neighbors, etc., it affects us. But it's at that time that our education and our positivity that should help us. Now, one particular person once came and told me, am I a positive person or a negative person? He asked me. Then he wanted a test to know, am I a positive person or a negative person? He came and asked me that question. I immediately told him, okay, I'll just ask you a simple question. There are a lot of things. A simple thing I just asked him. You are very fond of ice cream. So you ordered ice cream. The person came and gave you a bowl which was half full. What will be your reaction? Now you want it to be full. How are you going to ask? He said, it is half empty. It should be made full. Another person said, it is half full. Fill it. It's only half full. Please fill it. That would be one way. The other person will say, it's half empty. Fill it. So the person who said, in fact, my friend said half empty. I said, you're negative. You thought the negative side. You didn't know you could easily say it's half full and fill it. That's a positive person. Because both the positive and the negative person wants the ice cream bowl to be full of ice cream. The positive person will say, it's only half full. Why don't you fill it? I love ice cream. The negative person will say, it's half empty. Fill it. There will be a sign of annoyance in everything. If you feel like that, that helps us to feel whether I'm a positive person or a negative person. You get it, my friends? So whenever you approach a situation like this, you can understand. And it is at such times, this positivity helps during what I normally call a crisis. It is when a crisis arises that you have to become more positive. And for this, my request, or I should say, I have some 4 points as a conclusion to tell every one of you. How did you, if anybody asked me, I'm thinking by now, you might have felt that There's a lot of positivity in my life. Yes, one of the secrets of being and living till this age is positivity, nothing else. Live everything in the positive sense. Very important. First and foremost, always identify the positive areas of everything. Every issue, every problem has a positive and a negative side. It's when you go on thinking only about the negative side that the positivity goes into the background. But have a look at both. You know, when we start giving some cognizance to both the positive and the negative aspects, and start thinking only, looking only at the positive points, you feel fine. Because every point of us, now I normally say, when now people like you, all of you undertake large number of experiments. Some of them definitely fail. That is inevitable in life. When you fail, it is an experience. When you succeed, it's a thrill. You're thrilled when you are success, but never be over thrilled, because life is like a game of cricket. My passion. One day you score a century, next day you'll be out first ball. You don't know how. Cricket is a great leveler. That's what I've always found. One day you are a hero, next day you are a zero. This is something which we must always, if we are conscious, and if we are conscious of the fact that reputation, this is something which most of us are very much concerned about, reputation. We must have a great reputation. My very dear friends, reputation is like a bubble. I've always felt it. It can burst at any time, and be prepared for it to be burst. Reputation is like a bubble. If you're conscious of it, you won't care for your reputation. You won't work to improve your reputation. Reputation, let it come, let it go. As long as one is mentally and physically happy, what is required? What is required is mental peace and happiness. That is what we should stand for. If we have the mental peace and the happiness, nothing else will affect us. We won't be bothered about anything else. So that is the first point I always say. Identify areas of positivity. Especially people like you who are dealing in a lot of high flown, I'm sure, highly technical experimentation. I know you are the technical personnel of this country. You're the people who are running the technical, I should say, revolution of this nation. But in the process, please don't give in that very important process, please don't forget your personal happiness. That is equally important. That's something which I always say. I have, yes, in my introduction, somebody said 29 students have got their PhD under my guidance. Yes, they have. I'm a research guide. I love research guidance. I still do it. Several students still with me, but I ensure that every student who works under me enjoys what he's doing or she's doing. That may be the reason why so many were able to get their doctorate. That should be the approach. Otherwise, finding fault is the easiest thing in this world. You find fault with somebody else and that's the end of it. And naturally, you're in a position of strength. You can easily find fault. Never realizing that if I'm in that person's position, what will I feel? What will that person feel? If that feeling we get, we will definitely always be in a happy mood. We will always find ourselves positive. We'll always take a positive approach. Second point of happiness, positivity. Evaluate yourselves periodically. It is your life and you have to take care of it. I do that very regularly. Am I doing the right thing? Whenever I think that I'm not doing the right thing, yes, you're not doing the right thing. It comes into me immediately. Evaluate yourself periodically, especially the youngsters. It's a message which I give to all my young colleagues. Evaluate yourself periodically. You will see the difference. You will see the difference. You know what happens is you have to be in touch with so many people. We have to be in touch with so many people. And it's our positivity which helps us to deal with any person easily. I find no difficulty to speak to anybody. No difficulty. Because I know I don't have any axe to grind. It's easy to speak to persons. Maybe not got the due recognition which many of us would like to get. Even at this stage of life, I'm not bothered. I'm very happy. You know, as long as you have peace of mind and happiness, why are you bothered? That's a very important point, especially in these days of the COVID-19. Whenever, you know, what one of the most stressful things that can happen is you may accidentally, without your knowledge, come across a person who is positive. And later you come to know of it, that you met a person who seemed to have turned positive after a day or two. And that time, you know, I sometimes, in fact, I've helped a lot of people in that mood, because they immediately call me and ask me, sir, what am I to do? Uncle, what am I to do? Little ones. I spoke to a person, I said, don't worry about it. If you worry, you will get it, because it's mental more than physical. So what do? You take it easy. What are the steps to be taken? Quarantine yourself. See how things are. Wait for a week. Take 1 week, enforced rest. Enjoy yourself. Be on the mobile all the time. Relax, read, because I always suggest is do a lot of reading. It's at that time we do a lot of reading. You know, when you have nothing else to do, you do read a lot. Read a lot of comics. Read. Yes. End of it. At least 10 or 15 of them have called back and said, thank you, sir. But for you, I would never have felt so much better. Thirdly, be open to humor. Take everything humorous. You know, humor helps a lot. When I was doing my doctorate way back in the 80s, you know, we never had any computer. We did not have any Google search. We had to go in search of data from person to person, get all the abuses, very stoically pretend as if the person will tell you, I don't want to see you for another 2 weeks. But he is a person who knows such a lot of information. So after 3 days, again, I go, sir, can I meet you? In a very smiling way, asking. You know, when he's a person who asks me, don't come for 2 weeks, and he sees my smiling face, then sit. What do you want to know? So all those things I ask. He gives me all the necessary information. And this is how we were working. So much so, you know, I was a part-time researcher. I was working in my college. I think I got my introduced as Cochin College. I was working there as a part-time researcher. And I got a very interesting name. Madman. That fellow, he's mad. Because at that time, only mad people used to go for doing research. It was so difficult it was. Now, any person, if he is called, now I was called madman. In Malayalam, we've got an interesting word, which I don't want to use because most of you won't understand it. Mad. Tamil Nadu, Paithakaran, Pattan. These are the words that were used against me. Initially, I was a little perturbed when I heard my colleagues talking about me like that. But after a stage, I realized what they said is true. Only a madman will go for such things, put in so much of effort. Part-time researcher, Saturday, Sundays in the field all the time, forgetting the family, everything. So when I started realizing, took it in that spirit, things became so easy. Because I took it in a humorous mood. Take everything in a humorous mood. Have a sense of humor. Read jokes, crack jokes. It helps a lot. It's so nice to be humorous. It's something which I always tell people. Your sense of humor helps in everything. It's a sense of humor which survives even the, I should say, the worst of people. These major cricketers or etc., they have such a good sense of humor. It's so nice to hear it. We'll think they're very stressed. Yes, they are stressed, but they overcome it through humor. So have a sense of humor. Be humorous. Look at the humorous part of things. If you don't know it, read humorous things. You can correlate so many humorous anecdotes to our day-to-day life. Helps us a lot. And finally, it's something which I should definitely say, follow a healthy lifestyle. That's very important. Lifestyle should be healthy. Not worry about your carbs. No. There are people who go on worrying about their carbs. No. Oh, too much of carbohydrate. Not that. Yes. At this age, half an hour every day, good, brisk walking. That's all I can do. A bit of yoga, a bit of exercises. That's all. But youngsters, don't say I don't have time. We have the persons who say I don't have time are the people who actually have time. I have no time. Because the people who have no time know how to make time. That's my experience. I've never said no to anybody. I do have a lot of work involved. I never say no. Why? We organize your day well. Getting in the morning itself, you have, please remember, 24 hours. You sleep hardly for 6 to 8 hours. The remaining 16 hours are yours. How much of time we waste doing absolutely nothing? Easy. Yes, have a healthy lifestyle means exercising. It's not the food. Food part you can have anything you want, but exercise your body well for half an hour to 45 minutes a day. I'm telling you, it will make a lot of difference. Don't say I have no time. We have time. Many people, no time. What do you mean no time? What are you doing? When you start, that's why I said self-evaluate. When you do self-evaluation, you realize, my God, I'm wasting a lot of time. Use it more purposefully, more usefully. These are the 4 aspects. And with COVID-19, my very dear friends, these 4 aspects have become even more important. So my 4 points, which I want every one of you to think of, identify the areas of positivity. Any decision, any problem has a positive and a negative aspect. Think of the positivity. Read positive news. Let's be positive in the present day. Our stress will come down. Evaluate yourself periodically. It is your life and you have to take care of it. Please remember, ego is the worst thing. E-G-O, go, ego. That's what I say. The moment you have that, that is the beginning of the end. And if you evaluate periodically, that will go. Because you go, oh my God, why did I behave like that to that person? There's something, when you immediately realize, oh, I unnecessarily showed off. Yes, if you show off, that's the beginning of the end. That's the beginning of the end. Once a person starts showing off, that's the beginning of the end, because unhappiness has started. You are unhappy, that's why you're showing off. If you are happy, will you show off? Never. Never. That's it. Evaluate periodically. Be humorous. Yes. Humor is the most important thing which helps us out. Read humor. Listen to humor. Be humorous. Automatically jokes start coming in, Take everything in that humorous fashion. Things become so simple, especially in the present situation. Yes, finally, follow a healthy lifestyle. Yes. These are the 4 points which I really would like to emphasize. Life will be a celebration. Yes, make life a celebration. It's not all work. Yes, work is very important. That period you work. I'm very happy to tell you, my very dear friends, I've already taken 4 hours of class this morning for CA students. But I feel I've done some good work. During class time, I'm dead serious about the class, but take the class humorously, make the children understand what they have to say. At least for CA students to pay 2 for us online. Don't worry, I didn't go out of the house. Coming in, and now here I am addressing a very elite set of persons whom I hope would feel a little more enriched after listening to me. Let me thank the authorities of CUSAT, the Department of Computer Applications, my very dear friend who is like a little sister to me, my dear Judy, Dr. Vinod, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. That's if any one of you has to ask me something, I'll be happy to clarify. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Participants, if you have some questions, you can type in the chat window. Maybe I can read for sir. If you have some questions. I would request all participants to enable the video so we can have a picture along with sir. So if you can enable the video.
I'm in a mobile, Dr. Vinod.
Pardon, sir?
I am sitting in front of my mobile, so there's no problem.
No, nothing.
I'm not in front of a laptop. I prefer
no
my
problem,
mobile.
No problems. No problem. Requesting each of you to please enable the video because I see 5 different panels on my screen. So it would take some time to take the screenshot. So please enable the video because this being the last session and at least we should see us virtually. Sometimes we will meet in, when we travel and when the restrictions are over. So it is like important that we know each other. Exactly. So in the count of 3, I'm going to take the first screenshot. So 1, 2, and 3. Another one. 1, 2, and 3. Another one. 1, 2, and 3. Sir, indeed, it was really an enriching session.
Thank you, sir.
We were all waiting for this session, and what I take out of this session is to be always positive and to evaluate us. And it's something very important to move forward. Really, I'm really enriched after hearing to you. So maybe the same would be the case with all participants because I see all are smiling and they are happy. Still we have time. Dr. Ajith is with us. If you have something to share, kindly you can type in the chat window. I can definitely read it out on behalf of you so that sir can address us. He's a very senior professor, so we should utilize the experience he has in his life. So kindly, if you have something to write down, please do it, and so that we take more knowledge out of sir's experience. So shall we wait for a couple of minutes? Is it okay with you?
Oh, it's okay with me. It's okay with me. Wow.
So we'll be posting the feedback also in the chat window, also in our WhatsApp group. so you can register your feedback. So yeah, sir, on behalf of the entire family of Department of Computer Applications, Cochin University of Science and Technology, you are also our family
I'm an
itself.
alumni.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
an alumni of CUSAT.
So really, thank you for sparing time, and it is so positive after hearing to you, sir. And we wish to hear more from you. Definitely, we will be having lots of opportunities to come. So thank you so much for such a wonderful and inspiring talk. I hope the same message is imbibed to each one of us. We go with the positive note after hearing to you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So participants, yeah.
I leave, Dr. Vinod, I leave.
Yeah, yeah.
Shall I leave?
Sure, sir. Sure, sure. So participants, you can mark your feedback, which we have already shared in the chat window and also in the WhatsApp. So indeed, it was a great privilege to have you for all these 5 days. Hope we would have lived up to your expectations. We were very particular while designing this course and especially picking up the resource person. We did we were meticulously planning this event, and in fact to share to you, I had many inquiries from many professors in India. Still it is like in my mail, but since I planned it long back, so I could not give a consent to them, but we were very particular that we gave you an overview of what security is, how it is practiced by leading practitioners in India, and you would have seen through their profile and the quality of work they do. So make it as an opportunity to go back and to collaborate with them. Definitely it would be a learning lesson. So today after the talk, after this session rather, we will share all the slides that the resource persons have shared with me. Also periodically we have been sharing the YouTube link. So I hope it is accessible to you. We will be always available in the mail. Okay, it's and let us not stop communicating. Let us be in touch, because each one of us can help others in some or the other way. Okay, so I really thank you on behalf of everybody from our department, as well as my personal behalf. Like, it was indeed very good, and I hope you go out with a positive message, and you would have learned something out of it. Surely we are very rigor in conducting lots of faculty development program. So in future, maybe very soon, we will be doing some event. We will notify it to you. So you can always be in touch. You have my number, my email address. Also, you have the email address of the workshop, which will be active. So you can use it. So we will have the exam. You can start after 4 p.m. and it will be active until 8. So as I said, it would be a 1-hour exam wherein you can, it's an objective exam. I hope I'm audible. Okay, so it's an objective exam, so you can take and you can refer to the videos that we have shared with you. Also, we will be sharing the slides right away after this meeting. So you can go through those slides, and the email addresses are there. Especially you have the access to the resource persons from Cisco. So try to collaborate with them. It will help you in future. So if somebody has to give a feedback for our faculty development program, so they can unmute and they can say from which place they are, and we can take couple of feedbacks. But maybe you can unmute and we can take couple of them.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Sandeep has to say something. Yeah, sir, please.
Yes, sir. It's very nice FDP through 5 days, and all the speakers you bring from many places, and very good speakers are there, and all the organization from the beginning day, from start day to the last day till today, all the presentations are very nice. Okay. So it's learned a lot of things about the research and the security and cryptographic aspects how, and from the initial days also it was discussed about the blockchain technology. So basically I am also working on the blockchain technology area. So it's very good to me, and also today that is Alice and Bob Crypto World, Crypto Talk, that is also very much good. And I am really appreciate that University, Cochin University is doing an excellent job for conducting this FDP. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your kind words, sir. So where are you belonging? So which institute?
I am from ICFI University, Hyderabad, Telangana.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I would request like few of you, if you can unmute and maybe if you can share some of your feelings during these 5 days, if you can.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. So this is Anita from PSG College of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Sir, really the FDP was very interesting, also very useful. You have covered all the topics related to cybersecurity, sir. It was really nice.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Thanks for the kind words.
Thank you for your entire team, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations for your entire team.
Thank you.
Hi, sir.
Who is this?
I am Asha from SMS Engineering College, Cochin, Ernakulam.
Okay.
I have attended almost all the sessions, and all the sessions are very informative. So I could have a few sessions. I could have a refresh through what all things I have studied in my MTech and all. So all the sessions were very informative, and all the resource persons were excellent, and all the slides, the presentation they have done were all very excellent. So I would like to thank all the persons behind, all the organizers or coordinators behind this FDP. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Department of MCA, QSAT.
Thank you, Mrs. Asha. Thanks for your kind words. We can take another two if somebody wants to share. Because this is the only opportunity we can meet actually now.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Lakshmi.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I'm working as a lecturer in Government Polytechnic, Belgaum, Karnataka. First of all, thank you to the entire team for organizing such an informative session. It was an excellent session, sir. And I felt all the topics related to cyber security were covered, and it would really help me in for my further education. So thank you so much, sir. And thank you to the entire team, and looking forward to attend more and more such sessions. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing I forgot to mention, because I was not a speaker in this workshop, we were very careful while preparing the FDP. because we wanted to showcase the talent of women in computing. So if you would have counted, there were 9 sessions by security practitioners from India, like all women and all established young women. So we also wanted to highlight the gender part of the security. So in India, you can, through this FDP, you can actually understand that women are not far behind, and you would have seen like that there were many women, and also we had one more important perspective. Like usually you would see that a session comprises of 2 hours. So, but our idea was to give the maximum, breaking some of the sessions into 1 hour, so that you hear to what are the latest trends, and you learn some elementary aspects of security on those domain. So I hope it would have helped you. The only thing is like when you get time, you try to hear to these videos and maybe try to share with your research students or master students or bachelor students, and try to collaborate with the people whom you have met during the faculty development program, because collaboration is something which helps each one of us grow. So so I sincerely thank everybody, especially my department, my colleagues. Special thanks to Dr. Rafida, who was there with me for until from the first day in meticulously planning and executing this event. All research scholars, the head of the department, Dr. Sabu, my colleagues, Dr. Sri Kumar, Dr. Judy, Dr. Vishnu, Mrs. Malati, and definitely the management, the vice chancellor, the registrar were very helpful during this pandemic period. And a sincere appreciation to all faculty members from across India who have chosen to join our course. This time we got a remarkable registration. So thank you. I hope we meet soon. All of us should be in contact. The DCA workshop Gmail is always active. It is not that this email is only active for this ATAL FDP. So we are planning something big during the month of December. Maybe we will keep you posted. Something on security, so which is still in preliminary phase, but we will keep you updated. I hope that you should join that program, and definitely it would be a learning lesson. So with that note, I wish you all the very best in your life. You hope you all excel and do very great things in your life. Spread the wonderful knowledge that you have and improve and spread it to your students, and allow your students to grow along with you. Thank you so much, and meet you soon. Thank you. We close the session now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care.